Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that! I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as... well, as Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So, in the future,
Oh.
you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for, like, graduation ceremonies. And dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I, too, am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm, or is this some kind of toy for kinder?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas, too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
And the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized healthcare? That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party? Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
No. This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian? Me too!
Okay, I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man who I've ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your painting is actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
Hey guys, welcome to the program. Please give me the finger. Share this program. Get it out there to your friends and family. Encourage them to join us here with friends and family. Today's program, we're going to discuss a very important issue that you need to pay attention to. By the way, today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. All I'm asking you to do is to go to jovanlovesgold.com. That's it, jovanlovesgold.com. And request your free gold and silver kit today, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. And you need to pay attention. There is going to be a move to switch us to digital currency. When that happens, that basically means all traditional currency, whatever you've got stashed, put away, whatever, tips, mowing lawns, sticking that money away, all of that goes away 100%. Your traditional money is going to be a set time period. It's going to have no value. It's coming, and history has done it before, and history is going to repeat itself, and that's going to be the move to digital currency. And that is why I'm asking you to go to jovanlovesgold.com. I'm not talking about investing. You've got it wrong. I'm talking about CYA, cover your booty. Request your free gold and silver kit today, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. You just have to understand it. I just want you to get an understanding of gold and silver and why it's important to the economy and to you. That's all I'm asking you to do. That is all I'm asking you to do. By the way, any of those of you that were talking about gold and the claims, etc., I talked about, and now's the time to do it, where you can get land still for $30 an acre. You're going to be getting an email today, the first email that start helping you through this process. Just make sure, if you're interested, don't forget, send me a direct email. It's my name, my full name, Jovan, Hutton, Pulitzer @gmail. And just put in the reference line, just put gold. We'll get you taken care of. We'll get you on the list, and we'll walk you through this process. We're going to be covering the Islam issue today. It's not that it's coming. It's here. It's here, folks. And that's what I want you to understand. So share this program right now. We will get started in about 3 minutes.
Hoorah! The Marines started at a bar in Philly called Hutton Tavern during the Revolutionary War, and this place was straight fire.
Excuse me, are you Samuel Nicholas, the owner of this joint?
Damn right it is. How can I help you?
We need some badass motherfuckers that are definitely not pussies.
I've got just the crew you're looking for right over there.
Okay, that's fucking awesome. We'll take them all.
And just like that, the Continental Congress authorized the Marines in 1775. Made Sam Nicholas their founding captain, who recruited America's most badass motherfuckers, straight out of bars like Hutton Tavern. And these dudes were always down for crazy-ass shit. When ships got close enough, they jumped onto enemy ships like a bunch of psychos, just to have fun and kill some redcoat dirtbag. After the Revolutionary War, the Marines were disbanded.
Oh, come on!
It's over. Nothing is over!
But then, just like today, a bunch of dirty, ugly, illegal African pirate thieves were pissing us off. So guess who was called back?
Hoorah!
The motherfucking Marines. Only 7 Marines and some wannabe mercenaries crossed 500 miles of African desert to attack the pirates on their home turf during the Barbary Wars.
Now, if you want to see the rest of this video, you must subscribe. You will support History Dad because he has 2 kids and a smoking hot wife who's totally out of his league. This retard needs so much help, he's making subscription videos on Instagram.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County full forensic audit archives survive.
Warning. The following program has been rated Gilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, folks, get ready. We're going to talk about the Islam issue. It's not that it's coming, it's here. I've been doing a special on my locals. And if you're not part of my supporters on locals, I want to show you some of the things we cover kind of in a vast array, because you need to pay attention to this. But don't act, guys, don't act like I don't pay attention to you. Let me get you started right for this program.
Rennie Good was a gifted soul, a writer and a poet and a mother, wow. She tried to hit an agent with her car, oh no! Pop, motherfucker, now she's gone! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired and fuckables with the septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease! You fuck around and find out it's what it is! Now you're gone! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired and fuckables with a septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease! Fuck around and find out what that is!
Yeah, I know you needed that dose. I gave you a dose. It's the Islam issue we're going to be talking about in this program. And it's not that it's coming, folks. It's that it's here right now. And you need to pay attention to it. You truly, truly, truly need to pay attention to it, okay? Because this unholy trinity we have, right, government, media, and academia, has pushed this all on us, and we are, well, about to FAFO, right? It's interesting times. Let me tell you where this is. Let me ask you a question. During Easter time, right? During Easter time, other than boiled eggs, do any of you like the chocolate eggs? I like the Reese's ones. I don't know about you, but peanut butter and chocolate's the bomb. Of course, they're not really using good stuff in it, and you can kind of make your own, by the way. Do any of you like the filled eggs, the chocolate-filled eggs and stuff like that? Put it in chat. Let me know if you like the chocolate-filled eggs as you head in to Easter time. Right? I'm not sure I like the gooey white kind of filling stuff, but creamy peanut butter one, you know, somebody said robin eggs. Aren't those the ones that are malt balls? I love those. Right? So a lot of people like for Easter times, and Henry says it's all good, baby. Let me show you something, and this is what spurred this particular coverage. This is a post that's coming from someone in the UK, and it's basically talking about the UK, London, etc., being a Christian. You know, Britain's been a Christian nation for over 1,400 years through wars, plagues, countless kings. Easter has always been celebrated. Cadbury, look at their display there. Now Cadbury won't even use the word Easter on their eggs. When did celebrating British traditions become controversial? From Cadbury this season. It is all over the place. Scrubbing of Christendom in the name of not to offend, don't do microaggressions, whatever the case may be. I don't know about you, but I'm fed up with this bullshit. It's sad, right? Sad. It does kind of look like Crown Royal display, but no, now you could fill them with Crown Royal. That would be interesting. I think there's something out there like it. And I hate to show you this next one because it too pisses me off. Here is our, for the fire department in New York City, you know, we have Mandami now. Prayer rugs set over, right, the firefighters that lost their lives in 9/11. And they're laying prayer rugs over the heroes' names. Now, I know some of you liberals say, well, it's not really true. Well, it is true. This is California. Same thing. Same thing. Over the memorials, this one says, every soul will taste death. Garden of Peace, Islamic Cemetery. And they're setting them over Christian memorials. God does have a sense of humor, though. Antifa, anarchist, whatever, over in Italy were building a bomb. They wanted to attack Rome. It blew up on them, killed them both, husband and wife team. I guess God believes, you know, fuck around and find out. But I watch all of this anti-Semitic rhetoric. And it's the only thing it is to get Christians to repel Jews. That's it. Israel's not legit. Jews aren't legit. Jews are bad. Jews control everything. And to see so many people falling for this crap is ridiculous. Because I told you a few programs back, I told you, if you were to scrub everything Jew, Jewish, Israel from the Bible, ,6% of the Bible would disappear. People just don't get it. They don't. That should startle you. If you're a Christian, that should startle you. And then in this country, right, you don't realize how many great Jewish men and women have helped build this country. Bernie Marcus, Arthur Blank, strong conservatives. In 1978, founded Home Depot. They were fired from a previous hardware chain, and so they did it, and they changed everything. And they changed the American economy, right, at the same time. Costco, same way. Jim Senegal, and people don't realize it. The very American issue. And you think how stupid of it is to think 0.02% of a world population, a tiny, tiny population, can control 8 billion people in the world. Right? Now, I'm Jewish. I make jokes about being Jewish. Why do Jews have big noses? Because air's free. Or how do you celebrate Christmas? Stand around the cash register and sing, "Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus." Right? I even saw somebody yesterday rebuke and unfollow General Flynn. And, you know, General Flynn's Catholic. It's a war on all Christendom. And I said, look, and I posted it. I said, this is what the system wants everybody to do. Cut everybody off, separate everybody out. And because Candace and other ones, here it is. Everybody's going into further segments. Religion is now one of those hyphenated things. You know, God gave us free will. I don't know why people don't understand that. And this is very important to this Islamic issue. You have to understand it, right? God gave us free will. What does that mean? We have the right as sentient beings to decide, right? To decide what faith or religion seems true to us. That is part of our plight as humans. The next thing is, when did people think they had the right to tell a Catholic, well, you're wrong because you're not this or that? That's what all this is about, to get everybody fighting. The one thing we should be doing is we should be uniting. We really should. And so that's what I'm going to look at this. And I kind of want to show you some of the things that are going on out there. You might not have caught this. Are you an Apple user? Do you use an iPhone? Check this out.
Hey, Apple, I have a question. Why are there Islamic holidays on our calendars? We are not an Islamic country. We are not a country that was founded on Islamic principles, and thank God for that. My ancestors actually literally fought and died to ensure that. We are one nation under God. It's in our founding documents. We were a country founded on Judeo-Christian values. And that is the reason we have religious freedoms, because where in Islamic countries can Christians freely, openly practice Christianity? Throughout Islam's 1,400-year history, where have they tolerated other religions and allowed other religions to thrive? It's like these leftists are trying to say that we're one big united world. We are not. Islam does not stand for religious freedoms. We don't live in harmony. And they think we're going to now, because they put their holidays in our phones, they want us to tolerate and push tolerance for a religion that does not tolerate us. No, I don't want to be mindful of Islamic holidays. I don't want Islamic holidays to be considered US holidays. We are not compatible. They're not celebrating Easter in the Islamic world, I promise. Stop having tolerance for a group of people that want to enslave you or kill you if you don't convert to their religion, because that's what's taught in their religion. And it's what they've shown us since their founding. Study history. It's important.
History is important because history is repeating itself. And there are people out there that go, no. Islam is the religion of peace. That's not true. You're just being a mag hat. Have y'all heard that stuff? Let's go to the source, see what they believe.
Allah is not shy of the truth. We don't say that Islam is here to live, to coexist with lots of different religions and all of us can just hold hands and be friends. This religion was sent to dominate the world. It was sent to be superior, to extinguish the light of every other religion and to be superior to it. We're not shy to say it, and we don't find that to be something that we should be shy to say. That this religion has been sent to dominate, to wipe out, to take out every other religion, to eclipse it, to be superior to it, to have the people leave every religion and to accept Islam. And if that requires fighting to achieve it, then it requires fighting to achieve it. Because the greatest purpose for which jihad was legislated is to make the word of Allah the highest and the word of those who disbelieve the lowest.
to make the laws of Allah the highest, to dominate, eliminate. This is something taught from birth. And this is something you funded, whether you knew it or not, through the United Nations, USAID, etc. I've shown you this. I'm going to show you again.
لأنه نعمل حرب إنه نفرجي اليهود إنه إحنا مش إنه إحنا مش شاطرين، إحنا قوايا كمان. في ناس بحبوا فلسطين بدهم يحاربوا وبضحوا بدمهم عشان فلسطين. أنا بدي أهزمهم بالحرب، بدي أهزمهم.
بيعلمونا إنه الأقصى إلنا وإلنا يعني يعني إلنا فلسطين والأراضي كلها إلنا، لأنهم بسبب كذبهم وانتهاكاتهم إنهم يقولون إنه الهيكل تحت المسجد الأقصى، ولا مرة إنه يكون الهيكل تحت المسجد الأقصى.
أنا بقرأ اليهود.
بعلمونا إن الصهيونية هم أعدائنا وهم أهم شيء لازم يسوي فيهم عملية.
يعني انهم بيعلمونا بالمدرسه انهم ارهابيين
بيحكوا لنا عن اليهود انهم هدول مش منيح وهدول بقتلوا قاعدين بشبابنا. بيحكوا لنا هدول غدارين، وبيحكوا لنا انه هدول بغدرونا، هدول مش منيح. اذا بطعن بدعس عليهم، اعمل عمليات.
كيف يعني؟
الدعس، عمليات الدعس، عمليات الطعن والاشتباك المسلح في المخيمات.
ايش اكيد هدول العمليات ترفع الراس ولفلسطين. العمليات هاي تاعت الدعس والسكاكين هاي اشي بيرفع الراس لفلسطين.
اذا بدك بطلع بستشهد عادي. انا ان شاء الله اساعد الشباب وان شاء الله اصير مقاوم بالمستقبل مع الدولة الإسلامية.
What you might have noticed if you paid attention, those kids go to a United Nations school, which we help fund, in Jerusalem. They are standing in Israel, which helped educate, but all the teachers and the systems got taken over, infiltrated, and they are taught to hate and kill. Do you think that's only in Jerusalem? How about the mosque in the United States?
Kids, some of them 10 years old. I'm sure you've heard some of those clips where a child says, I live to be a martyr. In other words, I live to die. Yes. I live to fight for the sake of Allah. I live to defend al-Islam and the Muslims. I live to defend al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Yeah, there are lots of examples of them. And you know something? It's not just the young boys, the young girls as well. Some of those little girls, they are braver than every single one of us put together. One little girl braver than all of us. Did you not hear that little girl say, I want to grow up and I want to get married and I want to give birth to and raise martyrs. Ay wallah. What kind of bravery is that? What are we doing for the ummah? What are we doing for Islam and the Muslims? Those young kids, they are literally putting their lives on the line. They will be killed, many of them. Why? Only because they say, La ilaha illallah. We are Muslims, we want to live by Islam, we will protect al-Masjid al-Aqsa. This is why they're being killed. اللهم انصر إخواننا المجاهدين في فلسطين وفي غزة. اللهم انصرهم على عدوك اليهود. اللهم عليك باليهود. اللهم عليك باليهود. اللهم عليك باليهود. اللهم عليك بهم فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم رد كيدهم في نحورهم. اللهم زلزل الأرض من تحت أقدامهم. اللهم شتت شملهم وفرق جمعهم وأرنا فيهم عجائب قدرتك. اللهم أنزل عليهم بأسك الذي لا يرد عن القوم المجرمين.
Think about that. It's taught internationally. It's taught right there where they say they're in prison and murdered, but they're given the best medicine schools and everything else. It's a con. Now, I want to give you a little bit of history. What you need to understand, and this is part of what, by the way, I'm teaching this, I'm breaking it down, and there are about 50 different things that I will go through teaching you on my locals, that's a supporter there, why you need to understand this and be aware. Because remember, the bottom line is, if you do not know how the system does it to you, there is no way you can defend against it. So my job is to make you the smartest patriot in the room. You have to understand what's here, what's coming, what's planned, etc. Right? And by the way, our corrupt elections are what opened this door and allowed it in. And so part of the things I teach, I'm not doing one after this episode because I'm just going to do this overview. I want people to understand. And this is kind of a high level one. But let's take a look at the Crusades. See, the Crusades were not random wars of aggression. The Crusades, you need to understand, were the Eastern Christians' response to centuries of Islamic conquest. That's what the Crusades did. And they were primarily defensive wars to fight Islam at Islam, to keep them from coming across Eastern Europe, which wasn't working very well. See, in early Christianity, there were 5 centers of high authority: Rome, Alexandria, Constantine, Antioch, and Jerusalem. Each one of them had a bishop, and they administered a large region, both politically and religiously. Remember, church was government, government was church. Just remember that in history. And the origins of all of them were apostolic. And the cities that were there were the cores of Christianity. You need to understand that. And so what happened is Islam, which, rose up out of the Arabian Peninsula in the 600s, what they did is they almost immediately, after consolidating power in Arabia, the Muslim state launched rapid military expansion against its neighbors from the year 632 onward. That's from the time it was formed, it's war, death, conquer. From the time the religion of peace, supposedly, you get it? So what happened is, out of all of those places, Rome, Alexandria, Constantine, Antioch, and Jerusalem, remember, all of their origins were apostolic. They were the seats of Christian authority. Islam immediately took out 3 of the 5 patriarchal holy sees: Alexandria, Antioch, and Jerusalem. That happened in the 7th century, right then when it was started. And so the Crusades, you have to understand, were an Eastern counteroffensive. The Muslim had conquered the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, and were in Tours in France by 732. That's the 8th century. That's where my family comes in, that fought this battle and repelled them, or all of that area would have stayed Muslim. I covered that in other programs. It took 700 years from the time my grandfather fought that battle and fought the Sultan Suleiman coming in with his forces and repelled them. The ones that had already been there and stayed there, it took 700 years for Spain to get rid of them. 700 years. Right? Now, you have to understand the Reconquista was parallel to the Western Front, sandwiched right in between the two, what was going on. So the Ottomans, right, they laid siege to Central Europe for hundreds of years. And then they ended up taking the Balkans, and Constantinople fell in 1453. 1453. Who was one of the most fierce fighters of the Muslims one of the most fierce fighters of the Muslims, one of the only ones to successfully drive them out. It only took him 6 years to save his country. Fiercely pushed them back. Went all out to keep the Muslims away. But in the history you know of this fellow, he might as well be Satan. Who did history reassign as basically evil and satanic, but single-handedly, as an individual, freaking did what it take to push back the Muslims? Do you know who that was? Just a pop quiz. Put it in chat if you actually know who that was. Yeah, baby. You remember this. I covered it. Vlad Tepes of Wallachia, Vlad the Impaler. You know him now as Dracula. Yeah. He was the only one, him alone, supported by no others, fought them for 6 years and drove their asses out. And how was he known to history? Evil, incarnate, satanic. That's Vlad the Impaler, folks. That's Dracula. That's the true story. And then, by the way, the Muslims laid siege on Vienna in 1529. It took 160 years to get rid of them. Out of all the holy sees, after everything fell, the only one left standing, remember I told you, we had multiple holy sees. We had multiple centers that had their own bishops and administered a large region. Rome, Alexandria, Constantine, Antioch, right? Constantinople, and Jerusalem. The only one that still stands to this day, Rome. 4 out of 5 fell. So this has been going on for a very, very, very long time, folks. This is what they...
Kids.
They train, they recruit, etc. Let me show you in London. I showed you Cadbury eggs. Let me show you in London the mayor and his newest gathering.
Yesterday evening, on this very spot in Trafalgar Square, Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, hailed the power of being Muslim. From watching that video, would you agree that that is a show of force and intimidation from the Muslim community? And does this resemble Great Britain to you? Why did they do it? Because they could.
Britain's fallen. The UK has fallen. That's just all there is to it. And the same seeds that were planted in Britain are planted here. You need to understand that. Same thing. This is evil. This, they want to negate your right to exist. Does any of that look like London? I think it's sickening. But that's the religion of peace. And by the way, in case you didn't know it, in London, now they have a mayor in New York City, Mandami. They now broadcast the calls to prayer in New York City. And they did this in Times Square. That's why I say, folks, it's not that Islam is coming. It is already here.
The Dome of the Rock stands as a perfect shrine for Islam. The architecture was copied, like Muhammad copied almost everything in his religion. The location.
I want you to pay attention. Again, part of things we'll cover, the Dome of the Rock. That's on the other side of the Wailing Wall. What is the rock? That's the rock where Abraham was going to sacrifice his son and the angel came down, right? One of the most holy Christian sites ever, when they sacked the second Jewish temple, which protected it, but it's your Christian faith. They protected it. What happened when Islam came in? They built this dome over it. What did they do when they took down the Twin Towers? They wanted to build a dome over that site, a mosque. That's how they do their conquest, mark their territories captured.
The Dome of the Rock stands as a perfect shrine for Islam. The architecture was copied, like Muhammad copied almost everything in his religion. The location was chosen specifically because it was a holy site for other people, just like the Kaaba was once a center of pagan worship, and as the Hagia Sophia was a center of Christian worship, and as the Babri Masjid was built on what Hindus believe to be the birthplace of Ram. Islam is obsessed with controlling other people's holy sites, just as Muhammad was obsessed with controlling other people's religious figures, turning Abraham and Moses and David and Jesus into devout Muslims. Toss in a bunch of later myths and legends and embellishments and convince hundreds of millions of people that they absolutely must preserve this slap in the face to Jews and Christians everywhere, and you get the ultimate monument to everything history's most obvious false prophet came to do.
Every one of those seats of Christianity, those 4 out of the 5 that got conquered, have mosque over them. Now do you understand all of these freaking idiots that are Christians? It's the Jews. You have become a warrior for Islam. And you know what? Number one, most don't know it. And when they realize it, they're too ashamed to go back, and they'll never retract it and fight on the right side. Your mind has been conquered. This is how they do it. It's all misinformation. Let me show you one Jewish fellow debating the Islamic, Palestinian issue.
Number one, just so we're all in agreement here, you have not been able to identify a single right or law that Jewish citizens of Israel have that Arab citizens of Israel don't have. That's claim number one. Claim number two, you keep talking about the 80% of other Palestinians. First of all, those 20%, they're not Palestinian, they are Arab citizens of Israel. The other 80%, it's true, they don't have the same rights as Israeli citizens. You want to know why? Because they're not citizens of Israel, because they fundamentally reject being citizens of Israel.
No, it's because
hang on, let me finish. I let you speak for I let you speak for 5 minutes. Hang on. I let you speak for like 5 minutes. Let me get
can't even come back.
Let me get the point across. They have been offered the chance at citizenship after they declared war in 1948, and they said no. So of course they don't have the same rights as Israeli citizens because they're not Israeli citizens. In the same way, I don't have the same right as British citizens. You want to know why? Because I'm not a British citizen. So if they want to live in their own state, or if they want to be part of the state of Israel,
expelled from what was Britain.
You were expelled. It's interesting you say that because pre-1948, which was the establishment of the state of Israel, who controlled the territory? It wasn't the Palestinians. You know what it was? It was the British Mandate of Palestine. Before the British Mandate of Palestine, who was it? It wasn't the Palestinians. It was the Ottoman Empire. Right. There has never been a country called Palestine. It has never existed.
People hang
on, let me finish the point. What you're referring to is when Emperor Jews have been living there uninterrupted for 3,000 years. When Emperor Hadrian kicked out the Jews in 70 CE, he said, not only is it enough that we physically expel them, we want to create a detachment. Sorry?
You meant 130s.
130, sorry. 70 CE was the destruction of the temple. It then led to the Bar Kokhba revolt, which ultimately led to the expulsion in 130. He said, it's not enough that we physically expel you from the land. We also want to detach you from the land. So it's no longer going to be called Judea. We're going to rename it after your historic enemies, the Philistines, and then he came up with the term Palestinian. Even the modern day Palestinians, which is what you're referring to them as, which they themselves did not refer to them as until Yasser Arafat in the 1960s, they never had their own country. The only time they were offered their own country was by the United Nations during the Peel Commission and the Partition Plan. And you know what the Arabs said? No. You know what they said in 1967? We're going to wage a war to destroy the Jewish state from the river to the sea. Again, don't take my word for it. Listen to the Arabs themselves. We're going to wipe you into the sea. And unfortunately, they lost, and they have been living the consequences of that loss ever since. Nevertheless, the state of Israel has offered them their own state repeatedly. Don't take my word for it as the Zionist propaganda guy, right? Listen to our president, Bill Clinton, who said in the 90s, taking away land, Israel has less land today than they had in 1948. They gave out the Sinai Peninsula, which is double the size of modern day Israel. Why did Israel give up
less land today than
Israel won in 1979. In 1967, they won the Sinai Peninsula, which is an area larger larger than the entirety of the state of Israel today. And you know what Israel did in 1979? They gave it back to the Egyptians. If Israel is trying to expand its territory, it's doing a terrible job. You know how many Jews lived in Gaza in 1979? Thousands. You know how many Jews live in Gaza today? 0. Why? Because the Jewish Israeli Zionist government, they expelled every last Jew, both living and dead. They expelled them from Gaza and said, give it to the Palestinians. Let them have their own state. And you know what the Palestinian people did, which I wish they didn't, but they used their free agency to elect Hamas. You know what Hamas did? Hamas built terror infrastructure underneath schools, underneath hospitals, underneath civilian infrastructure. So yeah, of course, civilian loss of life is terrible. Civilian infrastructure loss is terrible. But what exactly do you expect is going to happen when your elected government rapes and pillages and burns and kidnaps American citizens? They kidnapped 12 Americans. They killed most of the Americans they kidnapped. They killed 48 Americans. What exactly did Hamas expect Israel to do? Not invade? Not go in? Not try to bring back their own people? I agree. We should absolutely have self-determination and freedom of movement and freedom of expression for the Palestinian people. You know who fundamentally does not believe in any of those things? The people they elected, Hamas. If you and I want to free Palestine, which I think we do, we would do everything we could to eradicate Hamas from the face of the earth. This bizarre fiction that Israel is expanding its territories when it has given more land than any other Arab country in the entire region. They gave up Gaza. They gave up the Sinai Peninsula. They have been willing to give up 97% of the West Bank. These are not my talking points. Bill Clinton literally said this himself. He said, we offered Yasser Arafat 97% of the West Bank. Ehud Olmert offered it. Ehud Barak offered it. In fact, the 2020 Trump peace plan, they also offered like 80% of the West Bank. And time again, the Palestinian leadership, not the Palestinian people, but their corrupt, awful leadership have repeatedly said no. Why? Don't take it from me. Listen to them. They have said, we're not interested in two states. We don't want democracy. We don't want multiculturalism. We want the eradication of the Jew from the river to the sea. It is literally like paragraph 1 in Hamas's charter.
But it's the religion of peace. It's okay to be history illiterate. Our system has stopped teaching history, and they don't teach you about the Crusades and all of that. These have too been infiltrated in our education system in the United States to keep people ignorant. It is this type of ignorance that actually has podcasters. You're a Jew, it's the Jews. You have become a warrior for Islam and you don't even know it. Now, my family has direct experience this in many ways. And oh, by the way, the Jews in Germany, I'm a German Jew, the Jews in Germany tried to play so nice, not ever believing the fact that Hitler really wanted to kill them. Oh, by the way, what Middle Eastern country representatives did Hitler keep bringing in to his administration? The quote unquote, right? What became Palestinians. Most people don't even know that fact. But 2 out of every 3 Jews were killed before the Jewish people go, holy smokes, we've got to do something. And by then it was too late. That is what the system has learned. Do it through propaganda. Do it through, your Antifas, your BLM, because of course they had the jackboots and the brown shirts for the Nazis. History taught them how to do this, and it's been steadily worked at. And here we are. It's not coming, folks. It's here. It's not coming. It is absolutely here. That's one of the best arguments I've ever seen. But let's go to somebody fighting on this front about Islam and somebody who literally got locked up in the UK, sent to prison for wanting to push back on Islam.
We are really warning Americans, see what's happening in Europe, this is coming here. And I think what most Americans didn't realize is where you guys have the numbers and you were flooded by mass Islamic immigration. In the United States, we had the infrastructure. We had the heads of the Muslim Brotherhood leaders here.
Sign up at TommyInUSA.com for the latest news and content from America.
I'm good.
I'm very excited to see you.
I'm happy to be here. Yes. Can you introduce yourself, Amy?
Hi, I'm Amy Mek, and from Rare Foundation USA. And I'm thrilled to be with the man himself.
Thank you.
Yes.
You do some amazing work. You've just walked in here.
Yeah.
It seems you have security with you.
Yes.
Can I ask why?
So I would say that back in 2018, when the media came out and doxed me, my whole life changed. So at that point, my family had to move. They came after my parents. They came after my husband. They came after my friends, my work colleagues. And from that moment on, how do I say it? Islam put a target on my back.
Can we just explain what it is you do? What happened in 2018? What is it you do for work? And I'll just briefly say, when someone digs, Laura Loomer digs, Amy digs, when she goes in on the subject, we do a lot of news flashes. Amy goes deep into Muslim Brotherhood, deep into who's funding them, deep into who's supporting them. So just give a brief of what you do, how you got involved in it.
So I would say back when Trump first ran is when I made the mistake of doing an interview for the New York Times about the women who support Trump.
And what was you doing at the time? What was you doing at the time?
So I was just starting Rare Foundation USA. Okay. So what we do is we cover the red-green axis, we cover the threat of Islam, and we cover the threat of the communist movement and how they work together. So we were going
You're ahead of the curve.
Yes.
You're ahead of the curve.
But what was interesting is it actually all started back in about 2010. I started to cover what was happening in Europe. And one of the people actually on my team used to run for the head of the Jewish organization of the EDL.
Roberta Moore?
Vlad.
Vlad Tabat, okay.
So Vlad, who you know very well,
we
have a translation team where we had translators from all across the world who would subtitle different videos of what was happening in Europe and the invasion that was taking place. And go ahead.
You was doing what Memory do before Memory do.
Correct. And what we were doing is we were really warning Americans, see what's happening in Europe, this is coming here. And I think what most Americans didn't realize is where you guys have the numbers and you were flooded by mass Islamic immigration. In the United States, we had the infrastructure. We had the heads of the Muslim Brotherhood leaders here. We had them setting up the very intricate networks, building these mega mosques that I actually have on film a lot of your imams coming to the United States and saying, oh my goodness, what is this? Because these aren't just mega mosques, they're basically cities. And you can be born in the United States in one of these Islamic, I would call them compounds, mini cities, and from birth to death, you never have to deal with a non-Muslim. So they have everything from Islamic banking to Islamic schools to Islamic clothing stores, food places. You never, ever have to deal with any non-Muslim. They have their own courts. They have their own councils, everything. So on the other side of what we have going on in America is I call them the front-facing, smiling radicals. And their whole job is to infiltrate our institutions.
CARE?
Say again?
Like CARE?
Exactly, like CARE. But then CARE now isn't just a 501c3 anymore. They have a 501c3, a 501c4, they have a super PAC.
What's a 501c3, what's a 501c4?
So basically what they are is they're nonprofits from our government, and
like
they
charities.
have...
Like charities? Are they like charities?
Yeah, exactly. And what they are is they're tax exempt. And what they're also now doing is they're running candidates, so they train people very young. They train high school students, they train college students, and then they are now making them, they run for offices, and they're penetrating all of our city councils. They're running from everything from Congress to Senate. And, you know, I just said this last time, they say they want to penetrate everything from the law enforcement agencies, and they have their representatives everywhere. So every level of government in our country is infiltrated with people who are somehow tied to the Muslim Brotherhood.
Do you think, because obviously a lot of this went on under Obama and under Biden, do you think things have changed now that we're under Trump?
I think Trump is doing everything he can, but I always say to people, Trump is one man. The United States, every one of our governments, they're corporations. So you can't come in as a president and completely clean house. You're going to have holdovers. You're going to have people who, I mean, think of how many thousands of workers we have in our government. And now, you know, I think he has the best intention, but I don't know if everybody who is working in his administration has the same aspirations. I think there's a lot of people who are working to block the progress he's trying to make.
What do you think? What do you think the future is for America? I've seen that there's a caucus been formed of congressmen. There's now 57 of them to ban Sharia. Yeah. Is this a move in the right direction? Does this give you hope? Are you going to stop America? Is this the first step to stop America ending up like Britain?
So I think one of the exciting things is that for the last really year, I've hyper-focused on Texas because I actually think that the Muslim Brotherhood has taken root mostly in red states at this point. They've really hyper-focused on Texas and Florida. And one of the things I give Texas so much credit for is that unlike anything we've ever seen before, when I started to report on what was taking place in all of the over 330 mosques, over 600 Islamic organizations, billions of dollars from our federal and state governments going into funding a lot of the Islamic movement, the people in Texas rose up and they demanded action from our leaders. So we had an incredible reaction from people like Ken Paxton. We had the most incredible reaction from Chip Roy and Keith Self, who went on to launch the Sharia Free Caucus. So for me, this is the first time in 15 years I have hope.
Did you have meetings with any of those congressmen? Have you spoke to them?
Yeah.
So have you been helping educate them on what you've been finding as a journalist?
Yeah, and I think that's been the most inspiring part, is that back in about 2014 to 17, I was reporting nonstop on Texas and these other places. Nobody would listen. Nobody wanted to touch it. And right now, I think everybody's been looking for one individual to blame. But I tell America, it's been all of our faults because we've been kept in the dark about the Islamic threat. And now, after the people in Texas rose up and demanded our leaders listen, I've had amazing meetings, conversations. I've worked with all different levels of people in the government in Texas. And really, I think because the people demanded it and people like Chip Roy and Keith Self and Ken Paxton really wanted to deliver. And again, I go back to a lot of it, it's not their fault. Every level of our government, from our, again, CIA, FBI, all of our training materials are scrubbed. No one knows.
Can we just explain that? In what year was it? Obama come in and then they basically took words out. Explain what they done in America.
So when Obama came in, he scrubbed in the training materials. They were no longer our law enforcement officers able to learn about the threat of jihad, the threat of Islam. All of these things were scrubbed because if you go back to 9/11 and you look at 6 days after 9/11, after the attacks, after the towers fall down, who was up on the podium standing with George Bush? Do you know who? Nihad Awad, the head of CARE, where George Bush says, America, Islam means peace.
Do you know that word? Do you know that phrase, Islam's religion, peace, was never said before that? Anyway, in history.
Right.
So you understand, CARE is the Council for Islamic Relations for America. And CARE is an Islamist group that has embedded themselves for the last 25 years in DC, here where we are. Their offices are here. They're in government. They advise government. So whenever anyone when these congressmen come together and they try and build a resistance, CARE will step in. They'll have voices all over. They'll be condemning it for Islamophobia, for racism.
And they don't, it's very interesting. I'm glad you're bringing this up because I need people to understand that when you have people in their small towns across America who don't want their schools and their city councils Islamized, a group like CARE comes in and they will go to the local media who they have relationships with and they will launch a full-blown attack. It's a assassination of people's characters. And they will then, I remember There was a man, and I won't say his name because he still has to live under the threat. He simply liked one of my tweets. And he was a very big media person.
And they went for him.
CARE went after him.
So
Let me just tell you, this man almost took his life. And this isn't just one person. This is all over the United States. I have people calling me, telling me how their lives have been ruined, their jobs have been lost, they've been ostracized in their communities.
CARE are acting as a mafia, infiltrating the country, and anyone who speaks out against the Islamisation, the CARE are like a Muslim version of Hope Not Hate. Media Matters, these sorts of groups. They're here, they're in the establishment, they've got the influence with the right people, and then they destroy anyone.
And interestingly, back in 2018 when they came after me in 19, it started...
Tell me what happened when they come after you.
Well, I was going to say it started with Hope Not Hate. And they actually worked with an organization here, and I won't say his name, I actually spoke about it in the European Union. But if I will tell you that I look back on what they did to my family, and for me it's personal now because they came after my family's jobs, everyone. And people who they knew they couldn't stop me, so they went to my loved ones.
Does it sound familiar? It's exactly what they've done to all of us.
And actually,
it's a mafia.
It started.
It's a cabal.
Because I would warn America, it's coming. Because look what happens to Tommy Robinson. Look what they did to him. And my heart used to bleed, looking what you were going through. And that's all. Exactly. And I said I would tell everybody, one day this is going to come to America. I just didn't know I was going to be their guinea pig. And then that was the whole thing, is that I look back and I just needed to know it wasn't just CARE and Islam and the different Islamic organizations. It was the Democrats and it was also the Republicans. I had nobody. They isolated me. And, you know, I look back at here we are all these years later, and when I look at the politicians now who care, and that's why for me, like a Chip Roy and a Keith Self, they're heroes because they stand outside their offices, CARE. And when they had us testify in Congress a couple weeks ago, they had outside of CARE's, outside of the office, they had CARE there. I have local politicians telling me that their families are terrified. So this is what they do. So for me,
these are foreign entities, funded by foreign entities, funded by foreign corporations, terrorist organisations, in order to scare American politicians, families, public into silence, whilst Islam wants to take root and Islamize this nation, same as ours. This is the power it goes to. It goes to the top.
And I think what scares me is that this is, to me, this is our last chance, because we're at such the precipice that if we don't change things around, I was just reporting on North Carolina before I got here. North Carolina, a red state. You go to all their local governments, they're all having proclamations for Ramadan. They're all having now, what is this, like the new Eid lighting? Whoever lit a moon before, right? I mean, but then again, we can't have Christmas trees, we can't have Easter eggs. It's just...
Same MO as we've had. They've done it in ours.
So we're at that point. So for me right now, you know, I look at this Sharia-free caucus as one of our last hope. Because if we don't change things, and I will tell you, the people in America who have been reporting on this problem for the longest amount of time, they're all infiltrated. The think tanks in America, you've got Muslim Brotherhood money going into it. You have people who are purposely in these think tanks to not tell you what the threat really is, to water it down and not say to you, oh, it's not Islam, it's a different form. It's Islamist Sharia supremacy. It's like all these... They make up the, you know, and then they have...
Western invented words in order to feel comfortable criticising Islam, to take the blame away from Islam.
And also to push the idea of moderate Islam.
Which there isn't.
And, you know, exactly. Because you look at like somebody like Erdogan in Turkey, he's the first one to tell you, no, it's not moderate Islam, it's Islam.
The mosque, the dome is our the dome is our helmet, the minaret is our sword, you, the faithful, are our soldiers, and the mosque is our barracks.
They say it.
That's Erdogan. He also said, have 3 babies, have 5 babies, we will take over Europe.
Exactly.
He's a NATO ally.
And this is the thing, is that America has also been kept in the dark about what's happening to you guys. There's no, if you turn on our TV, this is the first time in the past year where we now actually cover the terrorist attack happening.
Tell me this, but where can people follow you, Amy?
So we have Rare Foundation, it's RAIR Foundation.com, and also I'm Amy Mek, AMYMEK on Twitter. But our organization is growing, and yeah.
Let's smile at the end, because they come for you in 2018. They've come for you for well over a decade. They've attacked you. Right now, you're briefing Congress teams. You're briefing the American state and the government on the threat of Islam. So your voice is probably louder than ever.
Yeah, I you know, it's funny. I was not doing anything front-facing. You're probably the first interview I've done since 2018.
Come on, we got you out. I'm sorry for the backlash you're going to get. Make sure you show her love. Make sure you get on side. Yeah?
I said, but the only reason why I'm actually doing this is out of, there's not many people I trust who I know are doing this for the right reasons and who have suffered and who have gone through more things than you. So I tell everyone your story.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Yeah, and you being here is pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you, man. Come on. I'm happy to be here. I'm pleasure to be here. When I'm telling you, I've been going through, since I've been here, I've been looking at America. Everything's on her. I mean, and Laura Loomer goes digging.
Laura and I work together.
No, okay.
Laura, there's no better than, I said, Laura
it's a dangerous team.
Is my fire twin.
It's a dangerous team, because don't upset them, right? Because when I say go digging, I look at the in-depth and research that they're doing on where the money's coming, who it's coming from. So if you can support anyone, as I always say, support the ground citizen journalists, the new media, get behind them, back them. Because if anyone's going to, why is it that it's been left down to people like yourself? Where are the big right-wing media platforms on this? In America.
Uneducated. And you have to understand, they saw what happened to me.
Yeah, they're scared.
And they didn't want to. And now, I think it's becoming more acceptable to talk about this.
That's only because people like you went through that cult, went through it.
My only fear about this, though, is there's still that wanting to water it down, because we're stuck in the idea of people, Americans are good people. They think of Islam like Christianity or Judaism or Hinduism, and they don't understand it's a political movement.
It's going to infiltrate everything. I've been reading some of your congressmen's tweets, though. They're not watering it down, some of them.
I was going to say, Andy Ogles is off the
Oh,
rails.
mate, Andy.
Tommy Tuberville.
I'm meeting Tommy tomorrow.
They're all, I just give these guys so much credit, really.
I don't know if they actually, if you're an American, you need to get behind each one of these men, because when they stand up, there's going to be a massive push to crush them, like they tried to crush Amy, like they tried to crush me. These politicians are your last chance. They're on the front line, they're risking everything. Make sure you show them love, support, get behind them. And if your Republican nomination or your Republican candidate is not part of this movement, get on them. Ring them up, go in and see them. Why are you not part of this Sharia caucus? Why are you not talking about it? Because if it was left to a handful, they can get them. If the whole Republican Party stands up, if you make sure that this becomes a prominent point of the election, if everyone's talking about it, they can't crush it, they can't stop it. So I'm excited to come here to show the British audience that politicians are speaking. They're not mixing it down. They're not talking about interpretations of Islam. They're talking about Islam. It's a problem. It's a massive problem. And they're talking about stopping it and saving America. And if America's saved, we have a chance of being saved. You see if this place falls. If they've gone for Texas, because Texas is the heart and soul of the United States. Take that, you've took America. If they take America, we've got no chance. No chance. So, Amy, thank you for everything you do. All right? Let's order. What are you going to have?
Think about that, folks. Now you may understand why I recently told you and told all my friends, family, and supporters on Locals why I'm changing my focus in depth, the same kind of forensic research and in depth that I brought to understanding how our election works, etc., into helping you understand Islam, what's here, what's coming, what's planned. This is not minor, folks, in any stretch of the imagination. I've known it for a while. I had to get done with, my election stuff and evidence. I've already showed you that Kamala's right up there with Biden with all these fake votes. And 15 months after the election, they've got her over 75 million when she closed out election night at only 68. They're trying to tell you she's even more popular than Obama 2 terms or Hillary, who we knew were the rock stars. I've tried to show you this. That's why what we do with the Arizona audit is so critical. And now we got to the point you're seeing things in Fulton County, Georgia. You're seeing things in Maricopa, a lot of things, most of the things we cannot talk about. You saw a sheriff just seize ballots in another state, 650,000 of them. Riverside, California, seized the ballots. And when you understand how they do this stuff, this is kind of why motor voter, right? Motor voter, here it is. It's dropping down. These are the states that have that motor voter drop down to voter registration, and it's automatic. And you see they're blue, and you see they're the red states that are being fought over and are turning blue. Yet, if you look at America, where they don't have it, they stay red. It's war, and they're playing a very sophisticated war. But this is why we have to absolutely have your support. We got one good tranche of evidence of how it's done. That's the full forensic archives, which we have to make sure survive. And the media, the systems, all pushing it other places. They cannot afford for people to look at the real facts. And that's why Amy and Laura and others get beat up. The system is in play. Look at how many people, even people that you thought were patriots fighting for elections and whatever, even a lot of the Mike Lindell team stuff are now talking about the Jew-ish problem. Like it keeps them from being Jew haters. Well, it's a Jew-ish problem. It's the Jews. It is ridiculous, folks. But it's all a war plan. And they have spent tons of money doing this. This is why you see big names. They're getting big checks. Somebody comes in and writes a $10 million check. We'll give you this. Here's what you're going to say and whatever. It's a war. And that's why I need you to understand this war. And that's why over on my locals, I'm doing this series. I just showed you some today of things you need to know, but these are all peeled back one by one by one by one by one. Right now, there's over 50 we'll be doing. But if my job is to make you the smartest patriot in the room and you understand this and our elections enable this, I've always told you, if you cannot and do not understand how the system does it to you, you can't push it. You can't push against it. You can't fight it. You can't fix it. You can't anything. And they keep you in the dark. And that's why you see Epstein crap and all this other stuff. It's to hide what's really going on. That's why I really don't focus on that stuff. I'll do some update, but I don't focus on it because you need to understand outside of elections, this is it. It's our food supply, our water supply, our energy supply, Islam, and our elections. That's it. And they're here. And we're in trouble. And this is why they get elected officials to turn away from data and facts. They need to turn away from data and facts. They need you not looking. And I can't just let that happen. I got to do all I can to bring this to you. Anyway, share this program. Make sure you're part of my locals so you can get this education because it's the only place I'm going to do it. I did this so you can kind of see what's going on. We're at war, folks. And this is not who we are, sitting on the sidelines, whimpering. Share this program. I love you all.
We've got all the right in the world on our side, and there ain't no reason to be afraid, and there ain't no reason to not take the challenge dead on, because I'm going to tell you who we come from, folks. We don't come from some weak, jellyback, spineless people. That's not who we come from. None of us. And it doesn't matter what color you are, what nation your folks hail from, how much money you got. We all share the same name. We are Americans. And at Bunker Hill, there was Americans. And at Fredericksburg and Gettysburg, there was Americans. And at Iwo Jima, raising that flag on Suribachi, it was Americans. And at Pork Chop Hill, there was Americans. Quezon, there was Americans. And on 9/11, there was Americans who ran towards those burning buildings. That is who you share your heritage with. You do not share your heritage with a weak and ineffective people who cower at the sight of trouble. You share your heritage with a strong and brave people who are determined to hold on to their freedom and for the freedom of future generations. Guys, it's time for us to stand up and be that generation. It's time for us to stand strong and proud and remember who we are. That we are Americans. And as long as we stand as the vanguard of freedom in this nation, freedom will survive here. Not only survive, it will thrive. So guys, it's time to put on our packs. It's time to fix those bayonets. It's time to get ready. We got a fight on our hands. And our fight is not for us, for all those generations that's going to come behind us. Let's save America, folks.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or six-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pulled the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archive secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now.